Hey everyone, Reaper here again with another video. This time I wanted to do a part 2 to collecting second appearances. So I have a small batch of books here to show you. You know, we all know in the hobby that collecting the first appearances of some of these characters that we love is very difficult for many reasons. I think one of the biggest reasons is because of price. That's the first thing I think about. Batman may be your favorite character, but not many people can go out and get the first appearance of Batman. Now, that's an extreme example, right? But even an example like getting the first appearance of the Fantastic Four, or even Wolverine. You want a nice copy or a somewhat decent copy, getting these first appearances can be very difficult when it comes to price. Another reason why getting first appearances may be difficult is because of rarity. Sometimes these books are not easy to find, and when they do, when you do find them, they might be pricey, or someone else may snatch them up pretty quickly, whether it's at a show, whether it's on eBay, or any other place you get them. So, for those of you that have trouble getting first appearances or can't get first appearances for those reasons or any other reasons I didn't mention, sometimes it's easier and a lot of fun to get their second appearances. So again, I have a small batch here. Nothing too crazy, but some decent things. So here we'll start off with this one. X-Force number 2. This is the second appearance of Deadpool. Now, the first appearance of Deadpool can be a little expensive. I mean, not terribly expensive, if you want a nice high-grade copy, and when I say high-grade, I mean 9.0 and above. I mean, 8.0 can be low high grade, but for those that want to get like a 9.0 or a 9.4 or maybe even a 9.6, that book can be several $100s. I think in the region of 500 and above. 9.8s are always a little bit something different, right? But for those of you that that do not have that kind of money or don't want to spend that kind of money, whatever it is, you can get X-Force number 2 and get the second appearance of Deadpool, and you can still enjoy having that character in your collection in the second appearance in a very affordable copy. This is also the first appearance of Kane, another Weapon X character. I don't know too much about Garrison Kane, but he makes his first appearance in that book. But more importantly, as it relates to this video, second appearance of Deadpool. Here's another second appearance, whereas the first appearance might be a little pricey, like I was saying earlier in the video, right? More pricey than getting the first appearance of Deadpool in high grade. Here we have Detective Comics 474. This is the second appearance of Deadshot. It's also his first appearance in the modern age, but it's actually his second appearance. He showed up in the early 50s, Batman 59, and then he's been out of comics until, I guess this came out, in the mid-70s? What was it, 77? Gone for over 20 years, and here we have his second appearance. You get these in high grade, very affordable, especially comparing it to his first appearance in Batman 59. Now here's another second appearance, but it has put an asterisk next to it, okay? Here we have Batman 179. This is the second Silver Age appearance of the Riddler. Now, for many of you know out there, and for those of you that don't, the Riddler first showed up in Detective Comics 140, October 1948. His second appearance was, I think, in Detective Comics 142. I think that was also 1948. I don't remember if Detective Comics back then was bi-monthly. It might have been monthly. So it was either December 1948 or January 1949. And that was it. You didn't see the Riddler again until the mid-60s, right before the Batman TV series. And it was the Batman TV series that made him popular again, where he became a regular Batman villain. So he made his third appearance, which is considered the first Silver Age appearance, in Batman 171. And then he made his second appearance right here. It's an affordable book. You could get a nice copy and it still would be affordable. I know the 171, his first Silver Age / third appearance, can be a little pricey when you get into the 7s and the 8s and the 9.0 regions. But this is fairly affordable if you don't want to spend, or if you can't spend that money on those books, you could look up this one. Not bad. Here's another second appearance with another big difference in price. Here we have Detective Comics. We're still in Detective Comics. I think this is the last. No, actually, it's not. I still have another Detective Comics to show you. But we have this one, $3.73. This is the second appearance of Mr. Freeze, but it's also the first time he's called Mr. Freeze. I forget what year this came out. I would say maybe, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. I don't remember off the top of my head. Maybe 1967, 68, 69, I think. I could be way off with that. I think it's before 69. But anyway, the point is, Mr. Freeze first showed up in Batman 121 in 1959. He showed up. I know there's the prototype in Black Hawk 117. There's a character called Mr. Freeze who has similar powers as the Mr. Freeze that is more popular in the Batman universe. But technically, it's Batman 121 is his first appearance. That character doesn't show up again until, like I said, almost a decade later in this book. And that's when they recall him. That's when they call him Mr. Freeze. They called him, like I said, Mr. Zero when he first showed up, and they call him Mr. Freeze for the first time in this because of the Batman TV series. They brought in different characters. They revitalized Mr. Zero, but they decided to call him Mr. Freeze. So the next time he showed up in the comics, which was Detective Comics 373, the book I just showed you, they retconned him as Mr. Freeze. Here's another second appearance coming up, one that I've taken great interest in. Now, like I said at the beginning of the video, sometimes we don't get the first appearances because they're pricey, but also sometimes because we can't find them. Well, this one sometimes is difficult to find. Even it's a second appearance. The first appearance is hard to find too, and pricey, but the second appearance here is also kind of hard to find, but not as pricey, obviously, as the first appearance. Anyway, here we have Crime Patrol 16. Anybody that's watched my channel who says that they're a fan of my channel know exactly what second appearance is in this book. It's the second appearance of the Crypt Keeper. Pretty cool. Like I said, not easy to find. This is actually my second copy of it. I originally purchased one back in 2017 at the New York Con. It was beat to hell, and I talked about it in another video. Then I upgraded to this nice 4.0 copy. 4.0. It's a 4.0. It's way better than the 1.5 I had. But it's not easy to find this book, and sometimes it can be pricey. So I think it's easier to find than Crime Patrol 15, but still a very good book to get. Very good book to get if you're into horror titles, you're into Tales from the Crypt, you're into The Crypt Keeper, you're into EC books. 3 more. Here's a second appearance that I'm pretty sure you're all familiar with. That's really cool. Got a great cover and really nice to have. The Amazing Spider-Man 11. I love this cover. I've always loved this cover ever since I was a kid. It's the second appearance of Dr. Octopus. He showed up in issue 3. Then he came back in this issue. He's in the next issue, and he regularly showed up to bother Spider-Man. I think he's the one that formed the Sinister Six. I had to think about that one. Definitely one of Spider-Man's best villains. Some argue that Spider-Man's top villain. It's a battle between 3 characters: Dr. Octopus, the Green Goblin, and Venom. Take your pick. Regardless, it is the second appearance of Dr. Octopus. A great character and a great cover. Great Ditko cover. Here's another second appearance. I talked about the second appearance of the Crypt Keeper earlier, and now we have the second appearance of the Vault Keeper. Really, another one. This is EC's first horror cover. Even though it says War Against Crime, you think it's a crime book, the next issue it became the Vault of Horror. And the issue before this, the Vault of Horror was introduced along with the Vault Keeper, and this is the second appearance. This is the better cover, one of the best mummy covers in EC, as far as my tastes go. And like Crime Patrol 16, it's not necessary. It's not cheap. It's It's not super expensive, but again, it's not easy to find. You know, you don't go on eBay and say, oh, I'd like to get War Against Crime number 11. Let me go on eBay. You might find 1 or 2 copies. It's not like looking for an Incredible Hulk 181 or a Giant Size X-Men 1 and other titles that are readily available at all different prices. It's kind of hard to find, but it's definitely a gem to add to your collection if you like EC, horror, and all those other things. Last book, we go back to Detective Comics. This is the second appearance of the Penguin. The Penguin showed up in the issue before this, Detective Comics 58. Not an easy book to find. Not an easy book to pay for. It's very expensive and it's hard to find. Again, like I was saying with War Against Crime, it's not something you type into eBay or you go to your favorite online comic book stores like My Comic Shop or whatever and see Detective Comics 58 readily available. You might see it once in a while and it's usually very expensive. But you might see this one more often. I don't think this one is as rare. It's not as abundant as some of the other second appearances I showed here in this video, but it's not as rare either as some. I don't think it's as rare as War Against Crime 11 or Crime Patrol 16. I think you'll see this more often. And this is usually more affordable, depending on what grade you get, of course. If you're going to go for a 9.0, you'll be lucky if you find a 9.0. But they're usually available in the 3.0 to 5.5 range somewhat regularly. And they're not that hard to pay for. They're expensive, but they're not that hard to pay for. And it's, again, very cool to have the second appearance of the Penguin. I have a very, very low-grade copy, and I'm happy with that for now. Well, thank you for watching second appearances. So for those of you that like to collect second appearances, I might even stretch the series out to a third appearance. Who knows? I mean, I think a lot of us really like to go after first appearances. I mean, first appearances are books that drive the value of books up, keep the books valuable, keep them worth having in your collection, so whenever you want to sell them or do whatever with them. First appearances are very valuable, very good to have, very good to collect, but second appearances are good to get too, especially if you can't really afford or you can't really find, or whatever reason, can't get some of those first appearances. So you might want to check out some of these second appearances. Thank you for watching.